Bill Cosby is a free man, and the legal system has.
Say that one more time for me.
Yeah, Bill Cosby is a free man, and the legal system has failed us.
What the fuck?
Okay, I just gotta say before we get into this, and I have some technical details that I do want to get into a little bit later. But when you sent me this story, I was preoccupied. I looked at my phone, and Jean-Marc sends me an article that says Bill Cosby is free, no longer in prison. I go, this kind of clickbait bullshit is this? And I click on it, and I'm like, holy fuck, Bill Cosby is legitimately free. Like this story is true. It's 100% true. He's out of prison and a free man despite being 100% guilty. I couldn't believe it.
Dude, I fucking talk about like walking women back quite a few years. Mm-hmm. I feel bad for the victims of Bill Cosby. Like one of them came out and said, like, now all the suffering she's gone through, he was going to prison, the healing process started, and now you just take that Band-Aid or scab and rip it right off and even open it up even more. What in the backwards fuck am I missing in the United States where that stupid old fucking bastard is walking free?
So do you want me to explain the technicality of
Please
this?
Explain to me. Okay. Listen, and I'm not going to lie to you. When I heard it, I thought for sure onion bait, all this bullshit. Yeah. I didn't believe it either. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. You know, if I didn't believe it, you know who's really not going to believe it? You. I sent it to you and I said he's free. I tell the wife, I go, Bill Cosby's out. And then she kind of like went silent. And then she's like, why? Like, that's not even a joke. Yeah. I was like, no. Seriously, he's out. And she's like, what?
It's so fucked. It came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere because I didn't even know he had an appeal, and apparently it was going below the radar. But I will explain to what happened. Now it's stuff that I will admit before I try to explain it. It's beyond me. It's a legalese. A lot of people have said it was a plea bargain. That's not true at all. It's honestly more like a game of chess that these two sides were playing against each other. So to start off, we got to talk about the Fifth Amendment. As best as I can understand, the Fifth Amendment only protects you in a criminal case. It doesn't protect you in a civil case. It's my best understanding. And you're going to have to talk to a lawyer if that isn't true.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
That's how that works. Okay. That was news to me. I didn't realize that. I thought it would protect you from incriminating yourself. So the Fifth Amendment is the right to not incriminate yourself. Apparently, that's only in a criminal case. So this was a civil case that Bill Cosby was in. And I have the name of the woman who he was in the civil case with is Andrea Constand.
Yep.
So he was in the civil case with her, and the lawyers wanted him to testify about what happened. And you are compelled to testify about anything that the court wants you to talk about, unless you can plead the Fifth Amendment. So he obviously pled the Fifth Amendment. He didn't want to tell anyone the terrible things that he did. However, once he pled the Fifth Amendment, his lawyers not his lawyers, the opposing lawyers, the prosecuting lawyers, the plaintiff's lawyers, actually, in a civil case, basically, they looked at all the evidence and they said, there's no way this will ever go to a criminal case. We don't have enough to criminally convict him. So they said, you can't plead the Fifth Amendment because we will never make this a criminal case. We won't make this a criminal case. It's not going to be a criminal case. So the Fifth Amendment doesn't apply. Therefore, you do not have the right to use the Fifth Amendment because there will not be a criminal case. And Bill Cosby testified, and apparently he admitted to everything that he possibly did, admitted 100%, gave graphic detail of everything he did. And then years later was convicted in a criminal case. And they basically said, well, the prosecution has already said, they made this promise that they will not convict him on a criminal case. And because of that, 2 years after he was convicted, he's free to go on this technicality.
So what you're telling me is that the woman he was in the trial with,
yes,
said, listen, the civil case, they said, listen, here's the deal. They went in front of a judge. The judge says, it will not be used against you. Whatever you say was just for the civil case. It'll never be against you. He goes out. So they figured like slipped him something in the drink and then slept with her.
But I want to specify that it was a back and forth thing. It wasn't a plea bargain. It was, he wanted to plead the Fifth Amendment. In order to get rid of his ability to plead the Fifth Amendment, they specified in court that it'll never go to a criminal case. Therefore, he didn't have the right to a Fifth Amendment. Therefore, he was obligated to testify.
Okay. So that's what I can't figure out is that, so it happened so the reason he got out was because he was in a civil case before.
Yes. In a civil case before, the lawyers basically forced him to testify by saying it'll never go to a criminal case.
Okay. And then when he said everything.
And then when he said everything, years later, these stories came out. This was years later. All these stories came out. People started pushing for a criminal case. It went to a criminal trial. He was convicted. And after he was convicted, they pulled out that, hey, we have a legally binding agreement that you would not criminally prosecute Bill Cosby. And even though it was 2 years into a sentence, they were able to use that to get him out. That's the long and the short of it.
Okay. So now, oh man.
Yeah, it's fucking, like I said, it's a back and forth game of chess. It's one up. And Bill Cosby has somehow managed to get the last laugh on this, which is terrible. And we can say from a legal standpoint, from a following the process, Bill Cosby, I guess he has the right to go free, but on a moral standpoint, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is just a situation of the system doesn't work. That's the bottom line, right?
So well, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about the situation on how they got there. So the first woman who got him in the civil case, they make this sweetheart deal. So it seems like the woman was raped and deserves money and all this stuff. But then she goes, well, you got to say something. Then he goes into graphic detail and they go, holy fuck, I didn't know it was that bad. He admits to everything, goes, yeah, it's all me. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to prosecute me now. Right? At what point should they have just stopped and just said, like in the civil trial, and said, you know what, you're going way too deep into this. We're done. And then just say we'll get him in a criminal case.
You're saying that after he starts spilling the beans?
Yeah, like the minute, if you assume like you're like, okay, he gave me
you can't do that. Once you make that agreement, that's what's happening here is once they made that agreement, and the reason that sort of technicality is there is because that way when you, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm trying not to speak above what I know, but from what I've had explained to me is this is to protect people in those situations, because why would anybody ever agree to divulge these things? It's similar to Carla Homolka for Canadians. Is she made a plea bargain, and once she exposed the parts that she had done, people thought she deserved more time, but you can't go back. You can't go back and take back the agreement that you've already made. They're legally binding agreements, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But then I'm looking at like the same thing with OJ, right? OJ not guilty in a court of law, goes to civil, you're guilty. You get sued by the family.
But that's because the burden of proof in a civil and criminal case are different. In a criminal, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. In a civil, are you likely to have been in some way responsible? And
correct.
Was what was. That's a whole different story.
No,
so that's another can of worms that I don't really want to go too far.
There's so many questions, and I don't want to make the victim seem like a cash grab. But like, did she go to the police first to tell them what happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what happened to me. And they go, no case because it's Bill Cosby. Because if that's the case, like you could go after everybody. You could go after the lawyers, the judges, the cops. Everybody tried to bury that. You could really go after them.
What are you trying to go after
the woman who sued Bill Cosby for the sexual assault.
Yes.
And then goes, did she go to the police? Is always my question. And did the police say, we don't have a case here?
I think that a lot of these people, and I'm trying to recall the story. I have done the research on it in the past. I believe that some of the people, I don't know about this specific victim, but I know a lot of the people did, and they were told it's not going to happen because it's Bill Cosby. I believe that in the case of, it's Andrea Constant, I believe. Yep. Let me just check. It's Andrea Constant. I believe in her case, she had waited until almost the statute of limitations had been met and then filed it at the very last second. I don't know if she had talked to the police. I believe there's I'm not using this as an excuse to not have all the information, but I also believe there's several gag orders that were involved in this too. So some of the information may not even be out there. But with that said, she pushed for everything that she could in a civil case. And during that civil case, to answer your question, she was told that there's no way that a criminal case could be done. That's probably also why she waited until the last possible moment to file a civil case, because they were probably looking into a criminal case at the same time too. That's my guess, though.
Now, was there not other females involved in this? Now, do I not remember a list of women that came out against Bill Cosby?
There was something like 60 or 30 or like a ridiculous amount of women who said that. What I recall from this story when it broke was that almost all of the statute of limitations had been exceeded for the people who were coming forward. But there was like this one Hail Mary that they got him with in this case where he was eventually convicted. That's what I recall. Now it's been a couple of years.
Then the case was then the technicality that happened with the woman who sued him before 2 years before.
Yeah.
So basically,
a lot of legal mumbo jumbo that got this guy off is the long and the short of it is.
So what they need to do in the States. Now, I don't know the statute in Canada, but I believe murder and rape, I don't believe there's a statute. I believe you can go right to the end in Canada. I'm assuming because we're getting
for murder. Yes. I don't know about rape.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because you're getting priests like 60 years later, 40 years later. So I'm assuming.
I don't know, but go on.
America, my friends, you need to open that statute to unlimited.
Yeah,
I agree. you can't put a year down on a rape victim. Are you kidding me? What the fuck, man? You guys want to talk about like the Me Too movement that you and I stand behind, and when we're all about the Me Too movement, get these pricks out of the way. Did we forget to close the fucking legal loopholes here? So it's out of statute of limitation. Like that what that tells me is that there's a chance that Harvey Weinstein gets off.
Oh, well, that's what I'm afraid of.
That's
what a lot of the stories that I've been reading and trying to do my research on this, because it's a little bit beyond me, but a lot of people are saying that Harvey Weinstein is looking to exploit similar loopholes.
Same with Ghislaine.
The Epstein's chick. I didn't know that. Yeah. I had heard a little bit.
That's the one I was reading. Was that one?
I had heard that Harvey Weinstein was, and I don't know. Like this seems like a pretty specific thing to Cosby, but somehow Harvey Weinstein is actually exploring. So what are we at? We're at this legal system where if you have enough money, basically you can get away with anything, almost murder. You can get away with rape, apparently. And it's black and white, 100%.
And you can't get away with murder too. Like we've seen this before where, people have walked away from murder charges, but why are we not closing these loopholes?
Well, I think that's what the Me Too movement is about. Is the only way you can close these loopholes is to make enough noise for something to change. And hopefully we can make these things change. But
this is the problem that's happening, and it happens all the time with certain movements. And it seems right now the Me Too movement gets so far and gets rid of all these douchebags and dirtbags, and all of a sudden things get better. You start getting female heads of film companies, and you start putting females and diversity in, and then all of a sudden now it's like you stopped.
Yeah,
like the Bill Cosby going to court on an appeal, nobody heard about. The minute he was charged, you're like, his trial's on this day. You knew right away. Now it was like, okay, he's gone. You know what? What else can we look at? Oh, we'll go this way. You forgot to hold it up, guys. You forgot to come back and go, okay. And I didn't even know that there was a statute of limitation on rape.
Yeah.
You know, or sexual assault. I don't want to offend anybody with the rape word. But dude, why did we close those? We had the perfect opportunity. Now you have an opportunity.
I don't know. I'm not, again, this is all beyond me. So I can't say, but I would imagine that changing the statute of limitations on any crime is gonna, I would guess it's got to go to the Supreme Court, or it's got to go to some court that's beyond just, hey, this wasn't right in this one case. We'd like that changed. There's going to be a long process. And again, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but that's going to be a hard process to change, and it should. It should. I agree. The one thing you said is there should be no statute of limitations on rape. And absolutely, because of all the crimes, never mind the heinousness of it, because of the heinousness of the crime, absolutely there should be no statute of limitations. That's one point.
Yep.
The second point that I would like to say is, because of the trauma that the victim goes through, oftentimes they're afraid to come forward for much longer. They need to have their trauma healed before they're able to talk about it. The process of talking about it re-traumatizes them. So for all of these reasons, there absolutely should not be a statute of limitations on sexual assault, rape, and of course murder as well, right?
No, exactly. And some people like may think of it like, well, what do you mean? Why do they wait so long? Because the reason they wait so long, like you said, is it's traumatic, and they push it down, and they try and forget one of the worst nights of their lives, and they live it over every time. And it's until they have the right support group where they feel comfortable enough, and they say, you know what, I can do it. And then when one person comes forward, they go, well, how the hell did she do it? And then you go, okay, well, she's in my back. Okay, we can do this together. And then you kind of get going. But now in America, catch up, man. Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm not sure we're much better, but you know.
Hey, dude, I'm not saying we are, but we need to ensure that if you're a victim of anything traumatic, we should be able to come back and say, no, this isn't right. We need to fix it.
So before the show, you and I actually talked about this, and to add insult to injury, Bill Cosby has announced as soon as he got out of jail that he's planning on doing, I believe it's a 5-part documentary on himself to probably show that he's somehow sympathetic or in whatever light to rehabilitate his image. He's also doing a book, and he thinks he'll be doing stand-up comedy, which, let's be honest, he probably fucking will end up doing some stand-up comedy, because there are people who are going to probably support him no matter what the fuck he does.
You know what? Let's talk about this then. Here's what I'm going to tell you right now. Whoever picks up that fucking series, if he goes for a series, and if somebody gives him a comedy special, I'm canceling their subscription right away.
Oh yeah. I agree. There's no way. There's no way anybody. And that's the thing is
who picks it up? Who picks it up?
I don't even really have an explanation for that. All I can say is he's got enough money to produce whatever documentary he wants. As far as releasing it, I have no idea, but we're also in a world where you can self-publish just about anything. So if he wants to put it on the internet, I'm sure he could do that. Is he going to sell it to Netflix or HBO or someone else? I have a hard time seeing anybody buying it. I mean, it's going to have to be one hell of a documentary that changes a lot of these details that we know, and something pretty substantial is going to have to come to light where it's like, oh, turns out it wasn't a rape, which I don't believe. I believe he absolutely did do these rapes, but I don't see a scenario where anyone's going to be on board with it. I don't.
I don't either. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I will illegally find a way to download it. I don't even know how to illegally download. I will illegally watch it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the one thing that I am interested in is the book. I would read a book. I don't know if I would pay for it because I don't want to support him, but hearing the thoughts, the just what the fuck this guy that you thought you knew is thinking or was thinking or whatever, I can't even call it justification, but hearing the thoughts of him, I'm interested in that, but I'm not willing to support him for that. So maybe maybe I can.
Somebody give me the Cole's notes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what? I'll watch it. You know, maybe for the show I'll read it, but I don't know. And here's another thing too. Like what I'm afraid of is he's going to double down and blame the victims here. He's that much of a scumbag piece of shit that he will double down and blame the victims, which he already kind of has in some of his interviews before he was arrested, saying like he used Quaaludes and in the 70s everybody was using them and the girls knew what they were doing, and then all this fun stuff like almost victim blaming as most rapists and stuff pieces of shit do. Is that so? I mean, I'm like, you're such a piece of shit. I won't go to a show. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll go to a Britney Spears show before I go to a Bill Cosby show.
We got a comment from Trev Poulang. By the way, Trev, I have seen your comments. I think we've answered most of them, so I didn't get a chance to acknowledge them. But says JM, you can't say you'd cancel whatever company would put up that. and then say you'd illegally download it. He's saying you can't say you'd cancel whatever company would put that documentary out and then say you'd illegally download it. I think you could say that. I don't think
no.
So
So what we said, Trav, open up your ears, but what we said was that I will cancel anybody that covers it. If HBO picks it up, I'll cancel HBO. But if it's on his own, I'll illegally download it. So if you said self-published, so if he self-publishes it, I will find a way to illegally watch it.
I disagree with what Trevor's saying here too, though. I would say if HBO puts it out, I'm going to cancel HBO, and then I'm going to go on, somewhere where I can get a kick-ass deal and download it for free, right? I still might watch it. I might watch it. I don't know. I know I said I'm interested in reading his book, and another part of me thinks I'm not really interested in hearing his side of the story either. I'm kind of two minds. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't bother with it.
Now maybe they do it this way and I'd be okay with it. Maybe they did like the versus China. Maybe they they wait till he dies. They take that documentary. Yeah. And then they add it in and they go, this guy was a real piece of shit. And then they give all the money to the victims. I think I'm okay with that. Right.
Well, I did think of the China documentary that we talked about on this show when I heard about this documentary, and I wouldn't watch a documentary that's about him that he makes money off of, but if somebody else controlled the narrative and took all the footage and did a good job of it and he didn't see any of the money, that might be a different story. I don't know. The long and the short of it is I don't want to support him, and I'm probably not going to really care so much about his side of the story either. He's a piece of shit. He doesn't deserve he doesn't deserve to have a voice. He should be behind jail. He doesn't deserve the freedom to say his side of the story anymore.
And I honestly think that once he dies, it'll be a good day.
Yeah. Well, once he dies, the world will be a better place.